I was sitting there absolutely fuming. I mean, I can feel the anger already in my cheeks now.
In like this enclosure where there was monkeys and they were jumping on people's heads, but they were feeding them. And they were feeding them. The person next to me, Mum, only just noticed that they were feeding them peanuts.
Ideas used to be huge. They were brilliant ideas, but unless we've got £1 million in the bank to fund it, it's not going to work. Yeah. See LadBible, and it was like, how many views? It was like, I think it was like 136,000 views and 2,000 likes or something, and it just went crazy. And I think the next day we got a month's worth of orders in the day.
Could you do me a massive favour and click follow or subscribe button? It helps the podcast out so much.
Hello and welcome to the Make a Time podcast. I'm joined by Michelle and Luke, and I'll let them guys kind of introduce themselves and kind of where they come from.
I'm Luke and I'm from Peterborough.
Hi, I'm Michelle, obviously from Peterborough. I'm Luke's mum, and we have the shop sweetsformasweet.com.
It's been incredible. Obviously, I've kind of saw the post and literally everyone kind of shared it on my DMs. They're like, have you heard about this Schoolboy who made like £1,000 from kind of selling the pick and mix? So it'd be incredible to kind of talk about that kind of later on in the podcast. Whereabouts have you guys travelled from?
From Peterborough. We came down, it's only about an hour on the train and then 15 minutes on the tube, so it's not too bad.
Have you guys got much planned whilst you're in London?
Yeah, we're going to go see the warship on the Thames and head to the Lego store.
Have you been to the Lego store before?
Not since the renovations.
Yeah, first time. Did you say you was in London last week? Was it for the boxing?
Yeah, the BKB boxing.
Is that something you do as well?
Not bare knuckle, but boxing, yeah.
Yeah. Did you start when you was quite young then?
No, I'd say like 7-8 months ago.
Oh, wow. How did you get into that? Was it through a friend or was it just through... Did your dad get you into it? Or...
My dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It started off actually from my 5-year-old niece, his 5-year-old cousin. She's this beautiful blonde hair, blue-eyed girl, and she started boxing.
Oh, wow.
And she's beating everyone up. So his dad was going, and then you went with dad as well, didn't you? So yeah. They all go.
Kind of not looked back since then, kind of thing. Like, I was going to ask about your allergies and how you got diagnosed. Do you remember how kind of the first sign of Luke showing he's got allergies when he was younger?
Yeah, it was. He was about 1 where it started, and I knew something was wrong because of obviously reactions he was having and nappy issues and things like that. And it got to the point where I was actually crying on the phone to my health worker because the doctors were just completely ignoring me. And I knew that he had a milk allergy. You could just tell from the reactions he was having. So I actually pulled him off milk myself and put him onto soy milk because it was clearly causing him harm. Doctors wouldn't have anything to do with it. I kept on speaking to them and they were saying, well, write down everything that he's eating. And then they go, well, obviously he's not eating this, tell us the truth, because it was healthy that he was eating. Well, I'm not lying to you. Why would I do
Why
that?
Would you?
Yeah. And so in desperation, somebody mentioned to us about a hair test where you can get like a...
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Well, don't do it.
Don't do it, yeah.
Don't do it.
Right.
And it was a hair test and we sent it away and it actually confirmed to me when it came back that he did in fact have a milk allergy. So that gave me validation that, this is right then. But then it said that he wasn't allergic to nuts or peanuts and other things like that.
Was the hair test that wasn't through the doctors?
No,
was that something like online?
That was something online. It was through desperation because the doctors weren't helping.
Yeah.
So, it came back and like I said, it confirmed the milk allergy, which I knew, and said he was fine with peanuts and tree nuts. So I thought, okay. And obviously with the milk allergy, he couldn't have any desserts. So he's really limited. And I thought, peanut butter hasn't got dairy in it.
Yeah.
And it tells me here he's not allergic to peanuts.
So he must be fine. Yeah.
So he must be fine. So I made him a sandwich and then we were going to go outside in the garden with it and just being lazy because I thought I don't want to come back in. I put a tiny bit on the end of my finger just to see if he liked it. Well, clearly it didn't like him. He came up to me and he started scratching his tongue. He's just coming up to 2 now.
Yeah.
Scratching his tongue. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? Not thinking, I know it's stupid because I would have thought about the peanut allergy, but because of the hair test, it was like, well, he's not allergic. So, and then his face started swelling up around here. Then he got hives. Then he got hives like under your eyes. And it was like, clearly it was like...
happened straight away.
Happened straight away. So in a state of panic, I just got some antihistamine and kind of shoved it in his mouth, double the amount by accident. And very stupidly, I didn't actually phone an ambulance. I took him in the car, nearly crashed on the way because I was watching him like struggle and everything. And I should have phoned an ambulance, but I didn't. And then the doctors took us seriously, clearly. And then you got your allergy
frustrating
test.
that they didn't take you seriously like straight away. And I think a lot of parents are in this situation where they just don't know where to turn to. And obviously everyone just turns to Google and tries to get to the bottom of the answer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when we went to the specialist said, we're here for that reason. So I don't know why it was so difficult for you to get the help. But obviously once they had done it, they said, well, because he had the atopic 3, which is asthma, eczema and allergies.
Okay.
And they all kind of like linked together.
Very much linked, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how we found out about his nut allergy.
So was it tree nuts and peanuts when you got diagnosed?
Yes,
Yeah.
the peanuts have been consistent all the way through. It was really odd with his tree nuts because he was 2 when he first had it, and then he was getting tested every 6 months up to the age of 5, and the tree nuts would change each time. So like one time he would be allergic to hazelnuts, cashews and pistachios, and the next time he'd be allergic to hazelnuts, walnuts and something else. So the tree nuts were they were just very fluid, so they were off the menu, but peanuts have been consistent all the way through.
How was your experience, Luke, then obviously having these allergies and going to school? Was you like the only kid in your school with allergies, or was the other kids as well?
I was probably the only kid with a nut allergy in probably like around that year. It weren't too bad, but yeah.
Yeah, because I think at the time it wasn't massive because I went to like primary school in the 90s, and I remember being like the only kid. And for me at the time, like, it's so different to what it is now, because you hear about allergies all the time in the news, and pretty much people like fully aware now. Well, you would hope so. Did you ever feel like isolated because of your allergy, or you was like, I've got this, I'm just gonna be safe, but then crack on kind of thing?
No, but like at birthday parties, the cakes and that lot, I wouldn't normally have them because I don't know if they may contain nuts or whatever.
Yeah.
Trick or treating.
Trick or treating, that was always a difficult one.
Yeah. Well, you always say what happens when you trick or treat.
I'd come home, empty it out, and then we'd have to go through all of them, see if they've got nuts in.
And I'll have swaps for you, won't I? I'll take that and you can have these.
Like filter it through. I remember at like kids' parties, for me, like, I always have to like bring my own like packed lunch, and I still do it now. Even like it was like someone's anniversary party, and like my parents like, oh, you should come along. It's like a family do. Even then, I brought my own packed lunch. I did speak to catering, and they seemed pretty clued up, but I was like, it's not worth the risk sometimes, is it?
No. Like most of my phone has got like photos of just allergen labels from people saying, "Is this okay? Is this okay?"
Yeah.
Or like now we go around grandma's, and she just keeps all the boxes, and she'll just put everything out and say, "Can you just check everything?" So
and like a little like the sign things next to it.
Yeah, she started cutting them out and putting them on cocktail sticks and then putting them, which is really good, really helpful, isn't it? So you can see what's there. So
As a parent, would you say as he gets older? I mean, you seem really aware. Like, obviously, is it you like finding the right balance of like him taking responsibility on now in terms of him speaking up about it in restaurants? Is that something you do sometimes?
Yeah, we're starting to get to that. And so also, rather than me saying you can't have that, I'm saying, what do you think you can have this? And hoping that he'll start making the right choices, which invariably you do, don't you? You're not interested in taking the risk. He's doesn't want to get injured. But it's nice to kind of give him that freedom so that he's going to go out on his own at some point and have to make those decisions. So you've got a good head on your shoulders, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you planning on going to like university? Do you feel you'll go to university, or do you think, obviously we'll get to the business in a minute, would you want to kind of do something for yourself, or have you got an idea what you want to do when you get older?
I know, when I was younger, I used to always want to be like armed police, armed response, but kind of like an electrician.
Yeah.
It's like a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, it's well paid. I've got friends what do that, and they seem to like really enjoy it as well. Like, I know earlier, just for the podcast, we kind of spoke about kind of the airlines and kind of your experience with allergies. It's something I've spoke about on the podcast. I think it's on Monday or next week, actually. I've got someone in America who's got her own blog, and she like helped change the policy in America. So in America, when you board, you can board the flight earlier because allergies is classed as a disability. So you can board the flight early in the US and kind of wipe down the surfaces to make sure there's no kind of cross contamination. Because it's happened to me before in Croatia where I actually just didn't clean the surfaces, like fell asleep and woke up to hives all on my arm and absolutely panicked. And because I was in a rush to get on the flight, I didn't have me antihistamine with me. So I was literally like panicking, but luckily like their hostess had antihistamine on it. How's your experience been with like Luke, like getting on flights?
We used to give him antihistamine as soon as, like, as a precaution before he got on the flight. When he was younger, he's not really needed that much because now he's got older. But we wiped down all the sides and everything like that. We've travelled quite a lot. Me and his dad used to travel quite a lot, although we've not gone to like Asia and things like that because
I don't think I would ever go.
It's everywhere. Peanuts are all on the street food. It's everything. And even if they say, "Oh, it's peanut free," you know for a fact it's not because it is. It's just so in
Japan. Like I've been wanting to go to Japan, and I've heard like obviously they don't use as nuts as often as like Thailand, for example. But then I had a doctor on the podcast, and he said like he's never seen so many peanuts in the airport. So I was a bit like,
yeah, you've got to be really careful about where you go. But we've flying EasyJet, absolutely fantastic.
They're incredible.
They are brilliant.
And they ban nuts completely as well.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. But they've always been fabulous when we've gone on there. They've been really, you know, making sure that we've got our EpiPens, and so they know where we're sitting. If there's anything that goes wrong, do the announcement. They've just been brilliant, haven't they? TUI have been mostly good. We've flown with them a lot, and 9 out of 10 times they've been really good. But there was this one time when we were sitting on a flight, just about to take off, and they did the nut allergy announcement. We might have actually started taking off and did the nut allergy announcement. And this guy sitting next to me, Luke's obviously the other side of me, and his dad, and he starts talking about survival of the fittest and how these people should be allowed to travel. And he clearly didn't know that he was sitting next to a 5-year-old at the time with it. And he was being very vocal about it. And his wife was sitting behind him. She's tapping him on the shoulder as if to say, because she clearly has noticed. And she's like, as if to say, shut up. And obviously I was sitting there absolutely fuming. I mean, I can feel the anger already in my cheeks now.
You just feel yourself like boiling up inside.
But I thought, you know, I didn't want to draw the attention to Luke because he hadn't heard it. Or if he had, I don't think he realised it was about him. So I didn't want to kind of make him feel uncomfortable. But then a little bit later in the flight attendants came over and said, look, we're really sorry, but we forgot his peanut-free or nut-free meal. It's like, we're going to Mexico. It's like a 9-10 hour flight.
It's
what
like
do
one
we
of the
do?
things, if it's like a 2-hour flight, then, I mean, being a kid, like, it's probably even difficult. But as you get older, I'm like, I can do 2 hours without eating any food on a flight. But it's this 10-hour flight.
Yeah, with a 5-year-old. You know, how's that going to work? But the people around us were really helpful, and they were sort of like, oh, here's a banana. And they were kind of getting stuff that they thought were okay. And so was the air stewardesses. But this guy must have sat there at that point because then he clearly knew it was the people sitting next to him. And I just thought, God, I hope you feel really awful.
Yeah. It's annoying when people like obviously just don't take your allergy kind of like seriously, and I hear stories like this all the time. For me, the best experience has been like the cheaper airlines. Like Ryanair, like I say, EasyJet. They always do the announcement. I got one the other day where it's like with a Spanish airline. I'm trying to think the name of it. It's like slipped the top of my head, but they just didn't quite understand, and literally I had to like speak to like 4 different kind of members of the team until one of them spoke like half decent English. And in the end they did they refused, they wouldn't do the announcement, but they was like, we won't sell any nuts on the flight. For me, that was good enough at the time. Like, and I thought, if I see someone eating nuts near me, then obviously I'll say something. Do you wear a mask now when you get on a flight?
A mask?
No, like when COVID and everyone was like wearing a mask.
Well, when we actually flew to Mexico, it was the last time was in March. And the night before you had to wear a mask, and I think they'd relaxed it at like 5 a.m, and we flew at 7, so we didn't have to wear the mask.
Because I actually wear masks now on the flights, just because with my allergy being airborne, I just feel like more comfortable like wearing it. I feel less anxiety, or I'll feel less anxious knowing that I've got it. And like, if it is, it's probably going to reduce the chances of me breathing in if someone does eat nuts on the flight or doesn't listen to the announcement. Definitely.
I mean, you've never had a reaction other than eating. So, you know, we don't think that there's any airborne issue with you. Not that we're aware of. So, but definitely if he ingests nuts, that's a big problem.
How's Mexico then? Do you enjoy it?
It was good, but we went to like this animal sanctuary.
Oh, okay.
And we went in like this enclosure where there was monkeys and they were jumping on people's heads, but they were feeding them. And they were feeding them. The person next to me, Mum, only just noticed that they were feeding them peanuts as it was next to me. She asked and you went, yeah, peanuts. I shot up and like moved out of the way.
Yeah.
But then the monkeys are just jumping on everyone's head. So there's like
they had us in a row and Luke was next. There was me, Luke, and then this other couple here. And I just saw them put something on the person's head. And I'm like, what was that? And they just came to do it with Luke. And I was like, it's peanuts. I was like, is that peanuts?
God.
And he was like, yeah. So I was like, and you obviously then jumped up and legged it. He's like, no, it's fine. Right, it's not fine, you know. So that was a bit, and again, we weren't expecting that at all. So,
oh my God,
these little things that you've got.
You don't even expect that, would you? Like you're saying about, is it dog food as well? Like dog food,
yeah. Like a dog's treat. So I remember when I was about 6, 7.
Yeah,
we bought our dogs some dog treats, but we didn't check the ingredients because you don't really expect it. And just before I fed it to them, Dad was reading the ingredients and realised they have nuts in. So he told me to stop, but then I had to go in the bathroom, wash my hands and that lot and chuck them away. But
because I wouldn't have thought, it's only recently the other day, like someone actually messaged me on my Instagram stories, like, can you talk about pets and food allergies? And I was a bit like, there's only so much I can talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I get loads of like mad requests sometimes, and I try to, I do try, but like, it is interesting, like, because you wouldn't expect it. Generally, like the experience been in regards to like traveling. Like, I was going to ask, like, was Mexico good with food allergies?
Yeah. I mean, what we usually do, when we've travelled when you've been younger, we tend to travel to resorts. And then, even though it's like an all-inclusive resort, we'll then travel out and do the excursions. It's because we kind of feel comfortable. It felt like a safe place for him. As soon as we arrive, we have an appointment with the head chef because we let them know in advance.
Is this in hotels? Yeah.
Yeah. The head chef will come and meet us and tell us what's okay. Desserts are never okay. It's just not worth.
I just avoid it.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. And pastries and breads and things like that. You, with a nut allergy, you know what's you can and can't have, you know.
I think it's one of them things that, like, and I'll be honest, like, I just don't eat desserts. Like, there's very few. There's been like maybe 1 or 2 restaurants where they've said to me like, there's no nuts in the kitchen. We've made the desserts handmade, and maybe then. But that's always like the nicer end of the restaurants. I might do it, but 9 times out of 10. I was gonna say, whilst you're in London, there's Not Soho House is another franchise. It's going to come to my head, but every restaurant is completely nut free.
Oh.
So it's got like 5 restaurants in the establishment and they're all like completely nut free, which is incredible.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
I'll let you know. I'll try and remember what it is. Like, it's going to really frustrate me, but it's not. So Soho House is like a membership thing, like, which is like for creatives or whatever. And I know that their restaurant is completely nut free. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of the other one.
But we're the same. He's not too keen on eating out.
Yeah, but I know what you mean, because when we went out, there was like a restaurant, but they had this really nice brownie that I was allowed to have. So every time we ate out, it was like, if I could have the dessert, that would be the restaurant we were going to.
Yeah.
Which restaurant's that? Is that one in Mexico? No, or is that?
No, it's like in town.
It's Middleton's in Peterborough.
Yeah.
So I think they're a chain. I think they've got a few round. But he was like, I can have the brownie there. Can we go there? And again, it's on the higher end. It's a steakhouse and it's on the higher end.
Have you tried like cruise ships? Cruise ships are incredible.
They terrified me with food allergies, because I thought you're stuck there. Yeah. You got nowhere to go if it doesn't work out. So have you been on a cruise then?
Yeah, I was, like, when I was younger, so like my parents like took me on like a Royal Caribbean when I was like 17.
Yeah.
And they was incredible, like really, really good. And then when I was about, I'm 30 now. When I was about 25, 26, like, shouldn't be going away with family. But parents, they was like, we'll take you away. You don't have to worry about it. And I was like, yeah, why not? Like, and it was Celebrities of the Seas, and they was incredible as well. Right. And they take it really serious, like really serious, to the point where the head of the catering would like come over and tell you what the menu is for the day before. And he would go through and be like, right, Dan, we can make this in a separate part of the kitchen. And on Celebrities of the Seas, we did a tour of the actual kitchen, and they actually showed you where they prepare the food for people with allergies. Honestly,
that surprises me.
The best experiences I've had are on cruise ships, like hands down better than restaurants.
See, I was more fearful that, like, when you're on a plane and you're stuck there. That's what I thought might be the problem with cruise ships. If there is a problem, you're stuck and there's nothing you can do. So that's good to hear. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. But we are going on holiday this year. We're going to because you're a bit older now. We're like going to Canada and we're hiring an RV.
Oh, wow.
And that obviously, because we're traveling from Vancouver to Calgary, but because we've got the RV, we can control all the food, we can cook it in there, and we don't have to worry about being stuck somewhere with poor options.
So you're doing like a tour the whole of Canada?
No, just from Vancouver to Calgary. Yeah. So it's across British Columbia and Alberta.
Yeah. So, how come Canada is something you just always wanted to do, or have you got family there, or is it just something a bit different?
We've got a bit of family there, but because we went there just before COVID into the city to see the family and that a lot.
They live in Ontario and Toronto, don't they?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But this time you kind of want to go out and see like the forest and that a lot.
That'd be incredible, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also do kind of. I was gonna say, do you always carry EpiPens like everywhere you go then? Yeah. And has there been times where you forgot it? Because it happens to me all the time. Even last week, I went into the office in the morning, got there, I was like, I don't have my EpiPens, what I'm going to do? And like it was frustrating because I obviously wanted to be there with my team, but I was like, sorry guys, I'm going to have to go home and get my EpiPens. And then I was like, there's no point meeting going back into the office again.
But we went to the airport one time, and normally when we're in the car on the way, we'll always go like the night before, day before. And on the way, we normally check everything we've got, like the important stuff. But this time we didn't. We got to the airport and realised we've left my EpiPens at home.
Oh no.
So we had to get my aunt to get them, and then a taxi.
We didn't even know they were there. We thought we might have lost them. So we were like, they might be looking around everywhere. So
no, it happens to me. Like it's happened to me like so many times where like I get somewhere like, and like you said with that airline, like I had my EpiPens, but I just didn't have my antihistamine. It's just like it's so easily done. Like, but me, every time I leave the house now, it's like phone, wallet, keys, EpiPen, got everything, and like make sure hopefully I've got it all. Yeah. I really want to talk about obviously the business Sweets for My Sweet and kind of the story behind this, and kind of I spoke about it earlier. Everyone sent me this article in my DMs. Can we talk about a little bit about the inspiration behind it, Luke?
Well, first, I've always wanted to do some form of business. So I looked into vending machines and ended up buying a vending machine, but not many people have cash.
Yeah. These are the smaller sweet vending machines. It's not one of the massive, £2,000, £10,000 ones. It's like a smaller machine, isn't it? It just spends like.
Because I know that Stephen Barrett, when he was at school, he was doing all the contracts for the vending machines. Like, right. I don't know if the Diary of the CEO. He's like super successful, but he started off with vending machines. So that was your initial kind of thought into the business. Yeah,
but that didn't go too well and kind of failed a bit. So we went on about it and like spoke about it and that a lot. And then I ended up coming up with Sweets for My Sweet. And then we launched it together and had to make the website and that a lot. We found the suppliers and
With the sweet idea, was that because like when you go to the corner shop or when you go to the cinema, you could just like never have the sweets?
No, because at cinemas, obviously, cross-contamination, that's the problem. So when we went there, I'd only have like popcorn and that lot.
Yeah.
So that's the idea, that people can like have some sweets at home knowing they're safe.
Yeah. And how was like the initial idea? Obviously, so you partnered up with your mum. How was it then kind of building that website? Was it quite difficult trying to find the right website to kind of be able to kind of do your pick and mix?
It was like hours of YouTube videos, and then took a bit of time to like make it. We had to find the platform we were going to build it off and make it and that lot. But when we found all that, it took about a month to. But when we done all that, it took us like a day to make it.
I think we made and deleted about 10 websites.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It's like trial and error, just trying to get it right.
Oh, no, that doesn't work. Try again.
Yeah.
I was going to ask Michelle, has Luke always been quite entrepreneurial he's already like 11 now and he's already kind of set up a business. Was there any kind of signs from a young age?
Yeah, he's always been interested in business. I remember when he was 7, bath bombs. He started buying bath bombs and packaging them. So I was like, okay, because he wanted to do something. Do you remember that? Yeah. And so I'd buy them. And then he'd have, I think it was Luke's Lagoon was what you were calling it. And he'd be putting all the labels on and packaging them up.
Were you selling them online or just with friends?
Just locally on sort of like the local Alton Sellers is sort of like the Facebook page for our local area. So we'd go there together and he'd drop them off. And then you've always just anything you can have an idea. I mean, he came, his ideas used to be huge. They were brilliant ideas, but unless we've got £1 million in the bank to fund it, it's not going to work. So obviously when he came up with the sweets idea, it was, it was feasible. Okay, it's a couple of £100 we can invest rather than...
To get it up and running
so, kind of thing, that was fine. I mean, he still thinks of other things. He came home the other day and he's like, oh, there's a guy at school that's got a band. I'm going to do merchandise for him and set him up a website. It's like, it's just anything he can think of to try and, just create something.
You've definitely got the entrepreneurial spirit. You want to kind of solve problems and get started kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where does that drive come from? Where do you feel like, is it something deep down you've always just, you kind of wanted to do?
Yeah, I guess I just always wanted to be able to just live comfortably, be happy and that lot. I think that's the drive. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your granddad owns a successful business, doesn't he? That
I was going to ask that. I think at such a young age, your mindset is incredible. How you're like thinking ahead already. Where does that come from? You kind of say his granddad's got a business. Yeah,
his granddad, obviously my dad, he owns a business for commercial aluminium window fabrication. Okay. We've actually done loads of work around here. We're actually working on this building at the moment.
Oh wow!
It was weird because I looked.
It's a small world.
I put in Google and on my desk there was a file. I put in Google and it says, "Oh, we're going to this address." I thought that rings a bell, and it was literally sitting next to me, the same place. It was only a couple of windows and doors, but I was like, "That's really strange."
That's mad,
but yeah, no, I've worked there for 24 years, and so has my brother and my other sister. So it is. There's about 70 people, but we're sort of like the management. We work really hard.
Family kind of.
Yeah. And so I think Luke sees a lot of that drive and ambition and how we have to work hard to make it work. And I think you draw a lot from that, and you're very proud of your granddad as well, aren't you?
Granddad's probably might be my inspiration because...
Is your mum?
Yeah, and then my uncle, he also... with him, like what he's invested in and that lot, that's some more than you showing me how to get started, how to invest.
My brother, who also works there, he's very into silver and shares and stocks and things like that, and he's advises him and sort of gives him ideas. Because I'm no good at that. I'm like, ask your uncle.
Yeah, so I've got a little safe with a silver company that I keep some of my silver in. Yeah,
that's incredible. And I think a lot of the influence does come down from your parents and kind of your upbringing. And my parents, they was originally from Salford, and they took me out of that context when I got older because they didn't want me to get influenced by the wrong people. And I got brought up in Bolton. And I think having that influence on your family kind of really kind of sets you up for life kind of thing. So yeah, it's incredible to kind of see your mindset and kind of where you want to take it.
Well, I think that's the thing. You don't expect it to be given to you. He's like, well, if I want it, I'm going to have to figure out a way to get it and work for it, which is, we're proud of you for that.
And you spoke a little bit earlier about kind of Luke's drive and kind of where he gets it from. And you kind of mentioned obviously dyslexia and ADHD. Can we speak about that on the podcast?
Yeah. Would you explain about your dyslexia and how your struggles with that?
With my dyslexia, I'm really good at like building with electronics and that a lot. But
That's the ADHD and dyslexia, isn't it?
yeah, but like writing, reading, I find it hard, like very hard. So like in school and that lot, on a Friday, I've got like a little lesson where I can kind of learn a bit more how to read, write, and yeah.
No, honestly, it's something I've experienced as well as a kid. I really struggled with like reading and writing. I don't know. I always felt, for me, it was always like people, and also as well, like academic wise, like I was expected all D's when I went to secondary school, and I think I felt I had to work twice as hard just to get like C's, or people saying you can't do this or you can't do that. Do you feel like it's not going to stop you and you're going to go out there and kind of achieve it?
I mean, I think it won't stop me, and I still think I am going to go out there and achieve it. But like maths, I try my hardest in maths, and I'd say I do really well.
It kind of gives you that drive to go forward, doesn't it? You know, you're not as academic as maybe other people are, but you've got so many different skill sets that other people don't have. You know, you're very creative. You could very mechanical mind. You know, an engineer would be great for you. You know, he can solve problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and like you say, like you've got other kind of like strengths which you can really play to your advantage. Like you say, like what other people might not have, and it's kind of using that energy. If anyone ever doubts you, I call it like the fuck you energy. I say it on the podcast, but like it's like when someone says you can't do something, it's like, well, I'm gonna like prove you wrong, kind of thing. So yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, to be open about that as well. And I think Richard Branson, the billionaire, he's like dyslexic, and look how far he's gone in life and the stuff he's like achieved.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to the shop, can we talk about the story behind the viral post of Schoolboy selling £1,000 worth of kind of pick and mix sweets?
Well, after we put it on LadBible, it kind of...
No, we didn't put it on LadBible.
Oh, yeah.
We don't get to do that. That's not our luxury.
After it went on LadBible, we got that promotion.
Before LadBible, where did it start before the LadBible kind of came in and
I was trying to get some, because we thought, okay, people are buying from us. We've got a business here. We just need to get people to know about it. You know, there's lots of people with allergies.
Was it all word of mouth initially?
Yeah, all word of mouth. So, at Christmas, we sold a lot. It started at the end of January, sort of like filter down a bit. So I thought, okay, I'll contact the local media and just see if we can get some advertisement. And I thought it was going to be sort of like a 2x2 little thing in the local paper. Clearly that wasn't the case. They phoned us up and they asked to do a photo shoot, didn't they?
Yeah, we had like a 40-minute phone call, and then a 3-hour photo shoot and that lot, and then
so was it initial? Was it you paid for a small?
No, we didn't pay for anything. We just emailed and said we're looking for some advertisement just to raise awareness, and they liked the story.
Oh wow!
So we didn't pay a penny for any of it.
And then we ended up in like the Mirror, the Sun, the local Telegraph. We were like a large page in that and that lot. The Sun though was only a small little slip. Yeah. But
and then obviously LadBible, and it was like how many views? It was like, I think it was like 136,000 views and 2,000 likes or something, and it just went crazy. And I think the next day we got a month's worth of orders in the day.
Wow.
Yeah. And tell Dan where you've ended up in the news. Where around? We literally had a thing. Where in the world today?
I googled it like initially. Obviously, I was aware of it being LadBible, but if you just put it on Google, like Metro came up, and then all these websites.
Yeah, we end up in news in Poland, France, India, Mexico,
Peru.
Wow.
It was literally where in the world today.
What was that initial reaction? How did you feel when you saw that the LadBible shared it, and then you just saw all these sales come through in a day? Like?
I mean, I was pretty shocked because I didn't expect that. I expected it to pick up business a bit, but not that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had to call in reinforcements, my sister and your nan, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like, help us.
I was going to say, how did you get all them orders like shipped out?
Yeah.
Like, because obviously, is it next day delivery as well for some of these?
It's not, well, we actually made a slight mistake on there, which we've learnt from,
Yeah.
because we put first class as 24 hours and second class as 48, which is what Royal Mail say. Some people are taking that as,
Gospel.
yeah, what we meant was from dispatch. So we've changed that on them very quickly. But we did, with the help of my sister and
we
his
try and get
nan,
them out as soon as
we were
possible.
at work and they were packing orders for us, and then I'd come and check them and then seal them, and it was hard, wasn't it? But it was, it was great.
Yeah.
We try and obviously send them out as soon as possible. Like when we get an order, we'll probably make it that night.
Yeah.
Try and send them out, yeah.
And then you've got to keep running to the post office every morning.
Yeah, well, it was pretty good actually, because at the time, I think they've stopped it in April, but you could they would collect. So I was taking them to work with me, and the postman was coming and collecting them. And he was like, "Oh, you again?" Because it's obviously an aluminium company. He was like, "This isn't a sweet shop." And he's just taking all these sweet orders. Just like, sorry.
And initially, how was it when you got started? Obviously, did you get sales straight away, I imagine, or was it quite difficult trying to get the word out there and making people aware before you did the article?
No,
Was it okay?
It was really strange because I'm not very good with social media at all. I mean, we wouldn't even have an Instagram if it wasn't for my sister. Because when it kind of went, when they came to take the photo shoot, she's like, "You've got to get an Instagram because that's where people look." I was like, I don't even know how to do
You
it.
got TikTok?
No.
No, we tried to set one up, but
I reckon you would do really well on TikTok.
Yeah?
I really do, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
think it's a family-run business, and I think people love stories like that. It's not like a big corporation. Like people really sell into the idea of like yourself and your mum have just set up this business, and I think people just love supporting stories like that. There was an article or a video I saw of her. She was recording her dad, and my dad's wrote a thriller, and he's only got 10 sales on Amazon.
I saw that, and he's now gone bestseller.
Number one bestseller.
Yeah, it's 14 years or something. He's just trying to do it.
Sat on this book and it wasn't doing well. I mean, stories like that are incredible when it's really heartwarming, how the community or people can get behind to really support someone's kind of mission.
Yeah.
Initially, you're doing it out the kitchen. I saw that you got a 5-star rating with the food standards. How does that? Do they just come round and expect? I just thought it was generally quite interesting how they kind of do that.
They came round, but we had to get delayed a bit, and then they came round, and because we have a quite modern kitchen, they saw that was all right, and that they checked the area, checked it all. They had to look around, saw it, asked us some questions on how we keep it clean.
Do they come around with swabs and no?
No. I think being pick and mix, it's quite a low risk as well. If you're if you're chicken, raw food, things like that. So the main thing was sort of pest contamination and also how we deal with allergens. And one of the things she said is usually when they go out, it's usually the allergens that they've really got to kind of tell people about cross-contamination. But she's like, well, you're doing it because with the way the suites are set up in the kitchen sort of dining end area, we've got all these boxes all separate of the sweets that have got no allergens in. So they've got no milk, no nuts, no...
what are the main allergies? The free from tree nuts, peanuts. I know you've got an allergy menu. I say allergy menu, allergies what are in each of the...
most of them have none of the 14 main allergens at all.
That's incredible, yeah.
The chocolates have milk, wheat and soya.
Yeah.
And then sort of the fizzy laces, and I think Dracula teeth have wheat. And milk bottles. So you've got milk, wheat and soya are the only allergens, but we make sure there's no cross-contamination with them. So if someone basically order stuff and it has no allergens in it, it will never even come into contact with those. We'll pack them, and then if it does have an allergen, a sweet with an allergen in, we'll pack it, and then we will go and get the individual allergens, ones with allergens in, and put them in the boxes, making sure that
there's no
the milk isn't sort of cross-contaminated with the wheat or anything. So there's lots of hand washing at that point, and
and also on the bottom of the box, if you take it out of its packaging, the bottom out of its little bag, the bottom of the box, there's a little sticker where it has the 3 main allergens.
Yeah.
So if you have a tick on it. It says like ingredient shown with a little tick. So if it has wheat, there'll be a tick next to it. And then we also have at the very bottom, we have seen this kind of thing to make them know we've not just forgot about it.
And has it just grown month on month? Has it just been quite steady, or has it been quite a lot?
Well,
has it surprised you in any ways? Because like obviously it's such a great story. Like when I read it, and like I said, the amount of people was like, you need to read this. Or
Yeah, it has surprised us because, like I said, we've not paid for any advertising. And at the start, it was just done on Facebook, some discounts and whatever. And it was quite good because we couldn't see anyone else doing a nut-free pick and mix.
such a good idea.
Yeah, and it really does. Like some
And
people
it's so
were
much better
saying,
because you think like it would be something like the pick. It's better than the pick and mix you get in the cinemas. Like I don't know, like if I've not really had like pick and mix, but like it was honestly incredible to be able to like, oh god, I can have this, or I can have that.
well, it was some people were saying like, I haven't had pick and mix in 30 years. And it's just like, that's fantastic.
I've never had a pick and mix.
Yeah, I've never
it's
had
like,
one.
apart from Haribo's, but it's better than Haribo's, I thought. Yeah.
And that's the thing. And so anyone with a nut allergy, or because it kind of started with the nut allergy thing, and was sharing it with other people, and lots of people, you've got that community, if you like, that they all
want to help each other.
Want to help each other.
Yeah,
so it kind of spread organically from that, and we got a nice few orders at Christmas, and then we carried on getting orders. It's gone really busy again at Easter, so we'll see. Hopefully, it just keeps growing.
But before Christmas, we sent out some orders, but this person, we made a custom box for because they had certain allergies. Like they were allergic to like lemon and stuff.
Okay.
So we had to make a custom box for them. So we made a custom like box, and so they know what they're allowed. Like none of the allergies are allergic to it.
Yeah. What's your plan then with kind of the business for the next like 2 years? Do you know where you kind of want to take it? Would you?
I'll probably want to introduce some more stuff because we're introducing party cones, and I want to add like a little question. So if your people are going on holiday with someone with a nut allergy for the first time and they don't really know like what to do, they can kind of ask about it, and we'll give them some solid answers.
Yeah. And have you got more idea of like different businesses you want to do in the next couple of years? Like it sounds like you've always got different ideas you kind of want to take action on that.
I want to try and do some passive income ideas.
I think it's incredible, like you're so fully aware of like passive income. I know I've been trying to look at new ideas. So could you explain what passive income is to anyone who might not be aware?
Okay, passive income's kind of like you get the pay, but you have to do something like once and set it up, and it will just keep on paying you. So an example is what I'm looking into is designing Lego sets that Lego don't make out of genuine Lego pieces. And then I sell the design in that lot, and I don't have to do anything from that, and it's just passive income.
And you were saying earlier with the Lego, that's like a digital, you create the product digitally and then you sell the design.
Yeah.
So you don't build it with the actual Lego initially, it's all built online with the Lego bits.
But I'll probably try make it out of Lego to make sure everything works just fine, and then I'll sell the instructions. And then there's a Lego store called Bricklink, and on there, that's where you'll upload it and the pieces should come up.
No, it's incredible, like with the passive income, to be like aware at your age, and it's incredible that you're thinking ahead already. Because I've been looking at like passive income and stuff. I've got
that's the dream, isn't it? Passive
to
income,
set up a product, and then it's like people which do like these like online kind of platforms or kind of e-learning. Like there's a guy on YouTube where he went on Skillshare and he set up a course like how to edit a YouTube video, and then he says he makes £150 a day of it, and it said it took him a day to record it and film it.
Wow.
And now that's just like passive income now, and he's just like, it's incredible. Have you heard of Skillshare?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so there's like different people which create courses based on anything from video editing to how to set up a podcast or how to edit a podcast. But yeah, just set up a YouTube. Like, would you ever thought about YouTube?
I have thought about YouTube and TikTok and that lot, but It never really worked that well. But like when I was younger, I always just search up on YouTube like how to make money, however old I was. And only about a year, 2 years ago, I've realised the actual way to make money at that age is make a video on how to make money at that age.
Yeah.
Then you get money from the views and the subscribers and that lot.
I reckon you do quite well if you was like...
You're quite shy about being on camera as well, aren't you? I think that's put you off about YouTube. But I think, like, especially coming on here to meet you, it's all of these experiences do, you know, help you out.
It helps you grow as well. I used to be awful on camera. Like when I started, I was like dead awkward. And I think like the more you do it, the more you just feel more comfortable with the camera, or the more kind of relaxed you are. Even when I started the podcast, I used to say the word like about 20 times. Like. And I used to honestly, I had to go through the podcast. It would take me hours to get rid of all the likes. But I think the more you do something, I think it's just like consistency. And I think for me as well, like it's just like enjoying the journey. And I think sometimes I want the results straight away, or I want the money straight away, and it never happens like that. And it's just kind of going with the flow and making a difference kind of thing. Like. Amazing, obviously, to kind of have yourself, Luke and Michelle on the podcast to kind of learn about your story. And obviously, like when you see it online, it's just like a short, like obviously you read the article and incredible work. So it's great to kind of sit down with you and kind of find out about your business and like your thinking. And like I said, I think it's incredible at your age as well, like where you kind of see it going. And I think you've got an exciting future ahead. But anyone who wants to kind of check out the pick and mitts and get some allergy-free pick and mitts, would you like to share that on the podcast?
Sweetsformysweet.com.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure having you both on. Have you enjoyed it? First podcast.
Yeah, it's been really good. Thank you.
No, it's been a pleasure. Anyway, thank you very much. Bye.